start to the game.
It wasn't bad, was it?
Why should an honest answer be a mistake?
How can a modern day manager not have a mobile phone?
Why should he?
No, you're grand, Kenny, it's fine. I won't have any of your two-part line bar. Don't worry about it, mate. Absolutely fine over here.
I'm not being funny, right? I actually sneezed over this. Do you want a bit? I don't mind giving you a bit.
No. No, you're all right. So, football show. Spurs 0, Ajax 1 if you're just tuning in after 47 minutes. Second half has just started, been an interesting game. We'll talk about that in a moment. We also have Louise Quinn, Republic of Ireland International, on the show. As of the weekend, she's also a league winner with Arsenal. Arsenal's first league title win since 2012. Louise Quinn made her way in the game really initially at Peamount and then went over to Sweden, had a few good years there, came back to play for Notts County. And 2 days before the start of the season, the Notts County women's team was wrapped up. Thanks very much, sayonara, you're not getting your wages. We'll see you again sometime. And luckily she found her way to Arsenal and things have worked out really well since then. And she's after winning a league title. They've pipped Manchester City with one game to go. They'll play City in the last game just to add a layer of intrigue to the final game. I'm sure City will be up for that game. But it's been a brilliant year for Louise Quinn and she's going to join us. She did a paper review with us here actually a couple of months ago. So be good to check back in with her on very happy terms. That's on the way. There'll be obviously on the back pages tomorrow the result from tonight's match at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But one of the issues which will certainly arise over the next few days and be discussed, and probably in the press conference as well, will surround football and frankly it's a bit unbelievable in this day and age, but just the complete lack of protocol when it comes to suspected concussion. Really horrible scenes actually in the end. Vertonghen went up for a ball, innocuous enough initially, but then headed the back of Alderweireld's head, his teammate, and bust his nose open, and there was lots of blood. And in fairness, he did look in a bit of distress on the ground. He was sprawled out and they treated him initially for the blood, as you can imagine. And then, I don't know, had a bit of a chat with him. He walks off the pitch, they send him back on. And he looks to be okay, in fairness, as he walks back on. But certainly if it was rugby, there would have been a HIA, no question, because it was a nasty enough bang to the head and there was clearly lots of blood as well. And then on the pitch, I'm not sure quite how long he was on for, but he starts making his way off the pitch. Vertonghen clearly decides he's not fit to continue. And as he gets over to the sideline, his condition deteriorates even more. Loses his balance, his legs seem to go. He's near Pochettino initially, and Pochettino puts his hand around his stomach as if to hold him up, and then 2 or 3 other doctors come over and Vertonghen puts his arms around their shoulders and they're trying to walk him off into the tunnel, but he's not really able to walk. Like, his legs have almost gone limp. And then it looks like he's trying to vomit, or he's on the cusp of vomiting. He certainly looks nauseous, which obviously is never a good sign when you've just had a bad blow to the head. So the latest word at halftime is that he's still in the dressing room with the medics and haven't heard too much beyond that. I'm sure he's okay and he's been well looked after, but they were really not nice scenes. And actually, football's going to have to sort this out now because it's just gone on a bit too long and other sports have wised up. In the area of concussion, we all know how dangerous second impact syndrome is if you're concussed, and you just can't send someone back out there, especially, a centre half is going to head the ball more than likely. I appreciate not so much in Champions League semi-finals against Ajax as other cultures of football, but is going to head the ball again at some stage. You just can't have that, and you're not having to go at anyone in the Spurs medical department, because I wasn't there, I didn't talk to him, he could have been perfectly lucid. The point is almost, in rugby, after an incident, there's zero tolerance now. It's a HIA, head injury assessment. You come off, they have 5 minutes to have a look at you, assess you, you're out of harm's way, and then more often than not, if you go in for a HIA, not all the time obviously, but more often than not, you're pulled out of the game. Whereas in football, there's a bit of a Wild West element to things, it seems, So that's going to be discussed. That's going to be a big discussion point over the next couple of days. We're seeing Ajax on the break here. They won the ball high up. They could have a bit of a chance. Turn, will he get the shot away? No, it's hooked clear. So it's all very different, Kenny, to your day. Look, Terry Butcher and the boys, wrap it up, on you go. But we know a lot more about concussion now. You can't have somebody have that kind of bang, that kind of impact, blood everywhere, and just, we'll clean the blood off. How you doing? Yeah, I'm all right. Okay, back on you go. that ship sort of sailed, and
Yeah,
an
that's a
incident
tough
like
call
that,
though, Joe.
an incident like that highlights the dangers of sending someone back on, because Vertonghen deteriorated quite badly.
He did, yeah. But in all honesty, Joe, I think that's the exception to the rule. I mean, I've experienced most players have defenders, like, you know, head injuries, blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think I wouldn't say plenty of like head injuries in terms of blood. Obviously, cut myself, but I've never had concussion. Like, you know what I mean? There's getting a head injury and there's concussion. Like, you know what I mean? You can very easily cut yourself without having any threat of suffering from concussion. So
well, here's the point.
The fact there's blood for me kind of muddies the waters a little bit in some respects.
100%. Here's the point on this issue. In rugby, what happens is there are cameras at the game, as there are in football.
Yeah.
In rugby, they would have looked at that incident. Forget about the blood for a second. The blood's a side issue. It's a gory initial detail. They would have looked at the incident and said, you know what? There's enough of a bang there that he's potentially not in great shape. Let's bring him inside, have a look at him. And football just needs to get to that point where it's regulated. It's very simple. It's a no-brainer. Excuse the pun.
I think you're right, because I think the medical staff on the sideline, you could almost argue, are
Big
compromised.
Pressure. Big pressure.
Absolutely big style. I remember the incident there where Marino some years ago on the touchline at Stamford Bridge. So that's a very difficult position for the medical staff to be in, to advise the manager, no, I'm taking him off, and we're keeping him off in pressurised situations, star performance, etc. So you need somebody who's totally independent. And we're talking about VAR, it's coming in whether we like it or not, etc., etc. We know where the argument's going with VAR, but looking at it from a different angle, if you have like 3 officials up in the VAR room, studio, wherever that is, I suppose no reason why you can't have a qualified member of staff up there as well for those particular instances who can make an independent decision, a judgment call on it in a very quick period of time, and advise the referee whether, in his opinion, that player should be taken off for a period of time and assessed over a longer period of time.
I'd say it's going to come in very soon, probably even this summer, because a high-profile incident like this often moves things on, you know. Goal line technology was definitely speeded up with Frank Lampard's goal against South Africa in the World Cup.
But then it's not ideal, Joe, because surely the people who are in the best position to make that judgment call are the ones who are actually stood there with the player, looking into his eyes, verbally communicating with him. You know, you would imagine those are the people, and these are qualified people now.
100%.
These aren't all, you know, magic sponge men, like, you know what I mean? These are qualified physicians, like, you know what I mean, doctors.
In fairness, in rugby, the doctors pull the players, no problem. Of their own team, and there's a good culture. It seems a pretty good culture now. It's just become the norm, and so the doctors, you know, the Hippocratic Oath, they're serious about their business, and also they're brought in away from the manager. It's not like the manager's beside him going, "What story? Is he coming on or not?" They're brought in, and word will just be sent out in the calm of the tunnel. It's not happening. As for the game itself, we're about 54 minutes in. Spurs really struggled for a large chunk of this game. Is there almost a sense that Vertonghen going off didn't hurt them?
I think the change happened before that. Going back to a back four and kind of the diamond in midfield just kind of solidified him a little bit. Got Dele Alli into a better position for him at the top of the diamond. He was able to get in contact with Llorente a little bit more. But you're right, Vertonghen coming off. Danny Rose going back into his natural position. But Sissoko, his energy, his legs, his kind of dynamism in central midfield has certainly helped the team. But just the energy levels have been better. Joe's second half, start first 2-3 minutes of the second half, far better. More assertive, travelling quicker over the ground, making more tackles, moving the ball quicker, looking a little bit more like themselves. Tottenham lending itself to more of an open game, in all honesty, and Ajax do carry a threat on the counter-attack, not the pace of Tadic, but certainly Ziyech and Neres off the flank. So they're going to have to be careful. Tottenham are going to have to push, but going to have to be careful as well. They don't overextend themselves and leave themselves open, but it's certainly been more the type of Tottenham performance we were expecting from the very start of this game. But they look a little bit more comfortable in this system, in the diamond system. Ali looks comfortable in the central area, operating behind Llorente. We spoke about the big at half-time, sprinting from that number 10 position in behind the Spurs defenders. That's what Ali's been doing at the start of this second half. He's on the ball here. Look how advanced he is, linking up with Llorente and Moura high up the pitch. He looks a little bit happier in this position, getting a great header there.
Spurs with 5 players in the box there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. Ali can get into the opposition penalty box a lot quicker from that position, top of a diamond, rather than that kind of number 8 position where he was getting dragged deep and sideways out to the touchline. Distance between him and Llorente was getting very big. Now he's within kind of 10 yards of Llorente. He's running past him into the box, and that little triangle of Moura, Llorente And Ali now is an attacking force, carrying a lot more threat. The energy levels of Sissoko, it's looking a lot better from a Spurs point of view.
Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, interesting 35 minutes left in this game. Now, just before we hear from Louise Quinn, all night we've been giving you the chance to be in the running to win a trip to the Rugby World Cup 2019 in Japan. And we've already given you the first 2 of the 3 questions this evening. The first question being, what's the name of the monster that is said to live in Loch Ness? Question 2, Mel Gibson played William Wallace in which blockbuster? Question 3, which Celtic-loving musician performs at Porky Queeve next month? They are your 3 questions. You should have all 3 answers now, so send them, and your name obviously, to 53106 for 30 cents, and we'll announce our 3 winners before the end of the show, all with thanks to Heineken, worldwide partner to Rugby World Cup 2019 in Japan. So, short break here. Kenny's still keeping a very close eye on this match, and next up we're going to talk to Louise Quinn.
Football on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by the new and improved Boyle Sports Bet Builder.
Now with 44 markets to choose from on every match.
The Pat Kenny Show.
On tomorrow's programme, out of this world, how the human body would react to space travel. The New Ireland primary teachers celebrate the diversity of people and families, and how Sharon Raby made a fortune from her frizzy hair.
The Pat Kenny Show.
With MasterCard.
Tomorrow morning at 9.
On News Talk.
The award-winning Mr. Green Casino invites you to grab your seat at our innovative Live Beyond Live experience. Don't miss a card on our exclusive Mr. Green tables or play blackjack in style at Club Royale. Play live casino today at mrgreen.com. 18+ gambleware.ie.
Breaking news. Let's go to Martin.
Well, Lorraine, this just in. The new Irish-made vegan sausage roll is here at Applegreen.
What's all the fuss about, Martin?
Well, Lorraine, have you tasted it?
Try our delicious new vegan sausage roll, freshly baked daily. Now only €1 for a limited time at participating Applegreen stores.
So, Martin, the big question is, have you gone vegan yet?
Well, I've gone vegan. For lunch, anyway, Lorraine.
Applegreen, your home on the road.
Off the Ball. This is News Talk.
Now, welcome back. So still Spurs 0, Ajax 1, 59 minutes on the clock. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Arsenal are English League champions. They beat Brighton 4-0 on Sunday with a game to spare, and they have the title wrapped up. Arsenal's first title in the women's game since 2012. And there's a real Irish flavour to this Arsenal team as well. In a moment, we'll hear from Louise Quinn. First up, though, Ireland captain Katie McCabe also plays for Arsenal. She scored in that win over Brighton, incidentally. She was on OTBAM this morning to chat about winning the FA Women's Super League title. And at this point, she was asked in the interview, did she always believe she'd become a pro footballer?
It was always a dream of mine. I never knew if it was possible or not. But I used to watch Emma Byrne and Yvonne Tracy and Ciara Grant. They were all playing on the TV for Arsenal. I used to watch FA Cup finals and stuff, and I was like, I want a piece of that. So obviously you had to knuckle down, and luckily I played with Ireland at all underage levels, and I think when you're in the system at Ireland, you really put yourself on a stage when you're playing big European teams and stuff, and I just tried to give myself every opportunity, and I think working hard, it's very cliche, but it's a must when you want to play at the top.
Yeah, Katie McCabe speaking on OTBAM, our sports breakfast show, every weekday morning, 7:45am at offtheball.com, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, so you can start your day with Off the Ball. See our social channels for full broadcast details across the morning. Now, earlier on, we spoke to Louise Quinn, who's a teammate of Katie, and here's how we got on. Now, we're joined by Louise Quinn because Arsenal have won the league, their first league title since 2012, and Louise is with us on the line. How you doing?
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Hey, big congrats. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Feels good.
I'm sure it does. A 4-0 win away to Brighton secured it. These are supposed to be tense on a knife edge games. You're not meant to cruise to 4-0 wins when you win a league.
Yeah, but I don't think we were really expecting to get a win like that, and I think we wanted to take away as much of the how tense it could have been, especially if we left it till the last game of the season against City. So we wanted to definitely get the job done, and we definitely did it in style.
Yeah, you really did. I mean, it would have been an amazing occasion if it did go down to the last game with City. They're in second place. It's been you two very much in the title race all season.
Yeah, but of course you're a neutral, so you'd love it.
Yeah, I want it that way.
I know, yeah, a lot of people did, but we definitely wanted to get the job done, and we know that City are a fantastic side, so it definitely would have been a game for the neutrals. But I think definitely us two teams would have been some battle, but we wanted to get it done and dusted for sure.
Arsenal finished third last year, and then City were in second, and Chelsea won the championship last year. What were the expectations this year? Who were the favourites going into the title race?
I suppose it still would have been those top two, but I think a lot of people did see our potential, and I think it was kind of the start of our season last year that kind of put us down a bit further, where we didn't want to be, and we gradually got better and better, and we had Joe Montemurro coming in, and really just transformed it, but he wasn't able to implement everything he wanted to do kind of at that stage. So as soon as we got going in pre-season, you could really see that the work that he wanted to put into this team was really working, and we really had a fantastic pre-season and a really great start to the season as well. And I think that just kept flowing and kept going.
I mean, it's been really dominant. Played 19, won 17, lost 2. That's pretty much close to smooth sailing.
Yeah, relatively smooth, I suppose. Yeah, in terms of results, we definitely had our ups and downs, and we had a lot of injuries, but and we had a relatively small squad, which was what Joe wanted. He wanted to work with a select few players, and unfortunately we did have some long-term injury problems, but
yes. Sorry to interrupt. I was reading that 1.7 frontliners were gone.
Yeah, about that. And, unfortunately, I think that was around the time of, the last time we played City. And still kind of the same thing when we played Chelsea. They were the two losses of the season. So, that's where people had to adapt. They had to play out of position. They had to consistently, a bunch of us playing 90 minutes week in, week out, which is exactly what you want to do. But, it did get intense at stages when we were, struggling with 11, 12 players in the squad at times. So, we really battled through it, and, for us, we couldn't make those excuses. We knew we had the rest of the players were strong enough to be able to do it. So, we just carried on, and, it's come good at the end of the season.
It's the first league for Arsenal since 2012, so it's been a while, and they've generally had a very good women's team down the years. They're the only English club I was looking to have won the Champions League. So it is something they want to do well, and they seem to invest in. So I'm sure, 7 years is a long time. I don't know did you guys feel a certain pressure from the club to get the job done? But I'm sure there's a big sigh of relief and a real happiness that you have managed to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know whether it was, a pressure, but it was, definitely a goal. And, I think even last year for us, I think we actually, we should have, got Champions League, and we just slipped up in one of the matches towards the end. So we knew the potential was there to do it. And, even in our little social area in the club, there is a list of, achievements up there, and, the history of what the women's team has done and all the cups they've won. And, we're very aware that it's been missing a league title for quite some time. And, so we just wanted to, do right there and fix that. And, that was definitely our main goal. For us, we've been quite successful in the FA Cup as well recently, but, I think to get that league title and back into Champions League was definitely the number one.
I don't know if you saw the 42.ie, but Joe Montemurro, your coach, was quoted. He was talking about you, and he said, "When I came in and I saw Louise Quinn, they told me that she's just a typical defender, wins the ball, just plays it long, plays it into the channels and stuff like that." And then talked about this transformation which has taken place. I think he's trying to like be the Arsene Wenger to your Tony Adams here or something. That he's turned you into Laurent Blanc or something at the back. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'll try to be doing 5 turns and stuff on the edge of the box if you'll let me. But now he's he told me about this as well, and we had a good laugh about it. But
right.
He really has he really has transformed me in that way, and just it's Arsenal style of play. And if I want to be in that starting 11, I've got to adapt and I've got to do that. And he's had the confidence in me to do it, and believe me, I've failed plenty of times, on the training pits to try to do it, and even in matches. But the fact that he just keeps encouraging me to do it, and the girls around me, if it wasn't for their movement in front of me, there'd be no way I'd be able to link those passes into them.
Because it's difficult. Like, it's one thing for an entire team to try and play a more possession-based game. It's another for a centre half who's not used to doing it, having to take on that responsibility. I presume it's a back four. I haven't seen too much of it this year, but so say fullbacks push on and centre half split, and you take the ball. That's high stakes. I mean, it's all very well saying, "No, go out, Louise, play. I want you to play. Just play." But I mean, if you start giving away goals by giving up the ball cheaply and repeatedly, then it's going to get a bit messy.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose that's sometimes it is the risk that we take. And I'm definitely someone that just wants to secure the ball and secure the pass. And sometimes it will be a safe pass for me, but as long as we're keeping possession, because a lot of our work is even just bouncing the ball into midfield to get it straight back off them, and just move other teams around. And I have Leah Williamson, who I've been playing with for the year, is a fantastic player. She's a real ball player. So even for me, I had to get up to that standard. And and she's only a young player. She's only 22. So
right.
I've even learned so much from her. But yeah, it's, to have the confidence of the girls around me to do that has been amazing. And we've worked on our recovery runs as well. So if we lose the ball, so
right,
yeah, we're all alert.
I would presume a bit more enjoyable as well to be playing a bit of football, or a bit more football than you had been, or is that how you found it?
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to be getting on the ball, and to we're taking games where the only way that we can lose it is if we don't have the ball. So the way that we're going to win games is just keep the ball. Right. Keep the ball no matter what. Even if we're starting to get up top, if we need to start again, switch play.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we'll do. And but in terms of that, for the Irish team for the moment, we're still working on that and trying to become more of a ball playing team. So I genuinely do like all styles of how we play. And that's how I played in Sweden for 4 years as well. It was really, really, really tough defending, and then just pass it off into midfield and let them do the work. So it's just been brilliant that I've been able to adapt to it, and be able to do what the manager has wanted me to do. And as I say, I've just been so determined to get into that starting 11. So I'll try everything.
Yeah, no doubt. You were in here doing the paper review a couple of months ago. Now it's hard; the months go by quickly. It's hard to know. I can't remember exactly when, but the last couple of months, and we just very briefly chatted at the time. And I remember saying to you that I think Manchester United had just got their ladies team going, their women's team going, and I was thinking, God, that's mad, a club that size. And you said, yeah, but in fairness, now that they are doing it properly. Some clubs, it's just a bit of a PR exercise, and, they just have a team to say they have a team. It always struck me that Arsenal are doing it the right way. Can you talk to us about how you're supported, how it's run? How does training work? Is it at the same facility as the men's team? Is there any cross-pollination in terms of, I don't know, would an Unai Emery pop in and give some thoughts? Or how does it work? How are you guys supported at Arsenal?
I suppose I was very lucky at the time I came in that, everything was really has been in place like that for a good few years. And, it has improved. Just as I came in, there was, a brand new high performance gym just, on the grounds, which has been, incredible. And, all of the teams share that gym as well. So, we're constantly in there with all the academy boys, and then, some of the men's team are in there at stages as well. There's some great rehab machines and stuff in there, and, watt bikes for, a lot for recovery and rehab. And yeah, it definitely does feel like one club. We're all on the, the same pitches. Luckily for us, there's about 11 or 12 of them, I think. So
I would presume the Arsenal training pitches are nice.
They are, if you have a look at your living room carpet, it could be something like that.
I would think so. Yeah,
are phenomenal, and they're working every day, and and it's even that we pass by those men and women every day who are taking care of the pitches, and you'd be stopping, having chats, saying hello, doing whatever, and everyone knows the results of every team, even from the academy lads to the men, and you definitely even feel the the effects. When you've maybe had a good result, because all the staff in the club know, and
great.
You definitely know when there's been a loss, because everyone feels the effects.
No one's talking to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of a surreal thing. Well, maybe it's not actually. Maybe you get used to it very quickly, to be in the same gym as some of the Arsenal first team at times, or around them. Or does that become normalised very, very quickly, or is it still a little bit surreal?
I think now at this stage it has come, a little bit normal.
Yeah.
Because we've crossed paths with them so many times now, and can just chat to them, as footballers. And even that, like as you were saying, Unai Emery was in the gym a few weeks ago, just doing a proper workout. He was proper sweating, and we were just in there at the same time, doing our session. And
yeah,
he hasn't, he wouldn't come in and kind of give those sort of chats. I think each manager knows where their place is, and but just to even stop and have a chat with us every now and then, it's very nice. And just to to hear how they're doing personally. There's a lot you can see that happens in matches or on the TV, but it's not until you're kind of in that situation how they're really getting on.
Okay, yeah, I mean that just sounds like a really, really nice, ideal atmosphere. And Champions League beckons next year. I was looking at the Champions League landscape. It's very different in the women's game in that the English clubs really haven't featured as winners. Arsenal, the only English side to have won a Champions League, that was once a number of years ago. But like the Barcelonas, Real Madrids, Bayern Munich's not there. Lyon have won 3 in a row. They seem to be very strong. I think PSG runners up twice. There's a couple of German clubs. Frankfurt were thereabouts. So like that must be a massive target to get into the Champions League. I mean, for you to be playing Champions League football must be something that you're relishing next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's exactly where Arsenal, need to be again. And yeah, it was 2007 when, when we last won it. And, it's been a long time coming, but yeah, some of those European teams are, very, very strong, like the likes of Lyon. They really do get to bring in some of the best players. I think, the majority of the team is the French national starting team, and
right.
Then throwing in some of the best players from around the world as well. So they are, they are the ones to beat. But as it shows now, Barcelona. I think Barcelona I think it is a Barcelona-Lyon final now.
Okay.
That's coming up, and that's huge for Barcelona to get in there now. But
yeah,
our target is that now, and we've had a really great season, and Chelsea have done very well this year, getting to the semi-final. But yeah, listen, now it's going to be it's going to be up to us, and it's going to be up to City to represent England in it next year, and that's exactly what we're going to want to be doing. And
yeah,
we played some of the European teams. We did play we played PSG earlier in the year as well. So and we got a result out of that. So we know
you can compete at that level.
Yeah, we definitely can. And if you look at our squad on paper, we have some great names and some world-class players. So, we're definitely going to relish it.
Amazing. This is all a long way from 2 days before the start of the season 2 years ago when you arrive at Notts County and then they tell you 2 days before the start of the season, hey, sorry, Louise, but basically the team doesn't exist anymore. Best of luck, hey, bye.
You pretty much said it there. That's how the meeting went.
I don't think I'm exaggerating by all accounts. It was pretty much as brutal as that.
It was fairly blunt. Yeah, it really was. And Alan Hardy couldn't even be there to tell us ourselves. So,
the chairman wasn't there, no?
Yeah, not there. So, which was very, very, tough to take as well. And especially for a lot of the girls who really had settled into that club. And I think it was just, I just hadn't settled at that moment. You know what I mean? It was still early days for me, and I was, just figuring out, my position in there. And then it all just changed, very quickly. And, to the thoughts of that, so the club folded on a Friday, and then we were supposed to be playing Arsenal on the Sunday. The start of the league. And so for that turnaround, that, I was able to get to Arsenal so quickly after it all happened. And, now 2 years later, I'm going to be lifting a trophy with them. It is a massive turnaround for sure.
Yeah, it sure is. Because I was just looking into it. Notts County have relaunched their women's team. So I don't know what went wrong or what was behind the decision, but they've relaunched it now. They're going again. Is that I presume that's not a common occurrence in the women's game, that teams are folding willy-nilly like that. Like, was the Notts County thing a rare enough example of this happening? Because it's not like the Notts County men's team folded, I presume.
Yeah, exactly. So it is kind of, one of those where it does happen in women's football, but generally when it's associated with, with a men's team, it has that extra strength behind it and the extra support. But yeah, from, obviously from what we were hearing then as well, the men's side were struggling, but I'm not sure if they felt any sort of repercussion that we felt.
Right.
We weren't able to get our wages from that month. So it was, it really was just a harsh situation. But yeah, sometimes it does happen. And, even a lot when I was in Sweden, there was sometimes talk of clubs that just weren't able to survive. But that was if they weren't attached to a men's team. So, at that moment for a women's team to become professional, I feel like it definitely does need that support to really, kickstart it and get it going until the club is able to survive by itself.
Because I saw there was a good crowd at the Ajax at the weekend, like over 5,000, which is, very, very respectable. It's an 11-team league at the moment. Are there plans afoot to expand, or are they consolidating that for the time being? Like, is the game about to change even more I presume it will over the next decade rapidly. Are those plans in motion?
So at the moment they will now be turning it into a 12-team league anyway. Right. So only one team has got relegated, and so that's Yeovil anyway, who were near the bottom, but also they have actually suffered some money problems as well, that they weren't able to keep up with. So it's not too uncommon, but the team shouldn't be folding. It was just that they weren't able to meet the criteria of the league. But one team that's definitely coming up is Man United. So I feel like that's going to definitely add that extra strength to the league in general. And rumours are that they really are going to do some big things once they come up and again invest a lot of money and get some real quality players in. Obviously they already have a brilliant squad already for how they've done this season, but to really invest. And I think potentially I'm not sure if it's decided yet, but the next could be Tottenham Hotspur women as well. So again, that could just be a brilliant team to come up and especially if they're receiving support from the men's side.
That's the thing. Big names, recognisable names, and then you've got a fan base that you only need to tap into a pretty small percentage of that fan base, and very quickly you can have good atmospheres and big crowds. So it seems to make sense. One last area to get your thoughts on: how closely have you followed John Delaney FAI travails over the last month or two?
I've definitely seen quite a bit of it. It's a very kind of tough thing to comprehend at the moment and to take it in. But I think it just shows that when ourselves, the women's national team, were trying to put up a fight for what we deserved. It is a shame to hear that some of the money wasn't coming our way when it should have been.
Well, let me put it to you in these terms, because I think you were told, well, look, the money's not there. But then, it emerges, for instance, and we don't have all the facts, and it's not to make the case against just one person. I'm not just doing that in John Delaney's case. But for instance, as a high-profile example, there was 36 grand a year paying his rent that you guys didn't even know about. So, in that context, I wouldn't be blaming any player on your team if they were reading the Sunday Times over the last few weeks saying, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, exactly. And, I think we've all kind of, had something to say about it. And all you can say is that it's disappointing now. And the position that it's in at the moment is that, Sport Ireland have pulled the funding, towards the women's team and grassroots. And
will that affect you in any real direct way anytime soon, do you know, or is it a wait and see kind of thing?
Yeah, it's an absolute wait and see. Okay. We've been given no information about it, and it's hopefully something that can be resolved very soon. But which when it seems to be that it is starting to become resolved, but we literally have no information at all. So we're hearing exactly what everyone else is hearing in the news.
Right.
But yeah, it's just disappointing overall, and hopefully it can just be fixed up. So us, and across the board, League of Ireland, grassroots, everything that everything just gets put in order, so we can perform on the pitch and represent our country to the best ability that we want to do. We're incredibly proud of wearing the jersey, but we want our association to be proud of us as well. So hopefully that can really kick on now.
There's no reason why it shouldn't. And just a final point then, I guess. So City is your last game?
Yeah, City on the 11th of May.
Yeah.
We're back to it tomorrow. The game isn't until the 11th, so we're definitely not going to put that game just that it's a nothing game. It absolutely is, and it's definitely about pride and for us to stretch our points league.
Cement your status almost, there's a certain kind of the rivalry is you two as much as the league, so
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. So there's we're back at it tomorrow. We've had a couple of days off just to to really relax, and that's all we've been doing. We've just been trying to come down from winning the league. But yeah, listen, City aren't going to we're not going to be in party mode for that. Definitely after anyway, when we're lifting the trophy, but not for the game itself.
Yeah, no, I can imagine their dressing room pre-match, so that one should be an interesting game to say the least. Listen, congrats, what an amazing thing. From 2 years ago in Notts County to now lifting the trophy is going to be just an amazing occasion. So Louise, we're delighted for you. Well done, continued success. Thanks a mil.
Yeah, thanks a mil, Joe.
There we are, Louise Quinn. Big achievement. Well done. And Katie McCabe as well, who was on OTBAM this morning, league champions with Arsenal, and that Man City game is still to come on the weekend of the 11th. Still, Spurs 0, Ajax 1. Spurs been much better, but no breakthrough. 85 minutes on the clock. We'll chat to Kenny in a moment. And I should tell you, Off the Ball, live from the Aviva Stadium this Thursday, 2nd of May. It's a Liverpool special, previewing the second leg of the Champions League semi-finals with Steve McManaman, Nathan Murphy, and I'm now told, star of the show, Kenny Cunningham will be there. A stage with Steve McManaman, Nathan Murphy and Kenny Cunningham. There are so many jokes I could make.
And there are so many tickets left.
It's an exclusive... It's an exclusive off-air event. You can't listen to this on Thursday. The only way to enjoy it is to get one of the very few tickets left at offtheball.com/events.
It's not going live. Oh, that's a bonus.
Yeah, so you can really cut loose on
Oh, really cut loose. That name and names.
Name names. We won't tell Kenny some of this may appear on radio at a later date.
Selective.
That's our Liverpool special with Steve McMenamin, but more importantly, Kenny Cunningham this Thursday, thanks to Boyle Sports. We're back in a moment. Final thoughts on Spurs 0, Ajax 1 in a second.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Life is for living, so embrace that Irish spirit of adventure. At FBD, we're here to protect you. If you have a home policy with us, we'll give you a 10% discount on your car insurance. For a quote, call 017 617 617 or visit fbd.ie. FBD Insurance. Protection. It's in our nature. 10% car discount available with an existing FBD home policy. Acceptance criteria, terms and conditions apply. Underwritten by FBD Insurance plc. FBD Insurance Group Limited Trading as FBD Insurance is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
What is it about the Plaza Group that makes it different from other motorway services? Is it the spacious, relaxing atmosphere, the genuine, warm welcome, or the amazing choice of Supermax, Papa John's Pizza, Super Subs, Max Deli, Bewley's Coffee, and Spar? Whatever it's about time you found out for yourself. Make your journey that little bit easier. The Plaza Group, a new era in motorway services. Open on the M7 Moneygall, M6 Loughrea, Tipperary Town, Mallow, and Charlestown, County Mayo.
Welcome to Punchestown, sir. Just a quick bag check. Why is your bag full of horseshoes, sir? They're lucky. You should get the favourite in the Irish Sun, sir. Top tips, a free €5 match bet with Labrix every day of the festival, and it's lighter. Oh, yeah. Not so lucky after all, sir. T's and C's apply. Free bet stakes not returned with winning. Selected markets 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. Dunlewy.net.
Off the Ball. This is News Talk.
Now, welcome back. I need to get this bit of business out of the way before we go. Earlier on, we asked you 3 questions. Question 3 in reverse order. Kenny, which Celtic-loving musician plays Porky Queeve next month?
Simple Minds, lad. Lead singer.
Okay, Rod Stewart.
Oh, no.
Mel Gibson plays William Wallace in which film?
Braveheart.
Yeah. We've just been.
That was embarrassment.
We've just been.
I was insulted. You asked me that.
We've been flicking through the 100 greatest movies on
Empire. And you asked me. You asked me that question.
Wasn't even in there. And then, which monster lives in Loch Ness? This isn't as easy as I thought. I thought the answer was the Loch Ness monster.
Oh, which monster lives in?
I thought the answer is the Loch Ness monster.
Well, no, that's only hearsay.
The answer was Nessie.
Oh my God!
But I'm now being told we would have accepted both. But I would never say Nessie lives in Loch Ness. It's just the Loch Ness monster. Anyway, Kenny, the important thing to remember is that Sean Byrne, Cecilia Gavigan and Alison King have all won a green ticket to come along to our special event May 9th in Dublin, where one lucky person will win a trip to Japan with thanks to Heineken, worldwide partner to Rugby World Cup 2019 in Japan. Now, 2 and a bit minutes to go. 1 goal this evening, Van de Beek on 15 minutes for Ajax. Spurs in the second half been much better, but no breakthrough. They haven't come. Ajax have hit the post as well in the second half. It was a really good effort, but Spurs haven't come massively close to scoring. Actually, they're going to be looking towards Harry Kane for the second leg.
Well, I hope not. There's no way he's going to be fit. Joe Son for me is going to be the big addition for the second leg, because the subs they brought on there second half pushing for a goal. Joe, all he could muster was Ben Davies and the young boy Foyt at right back, who's really a centre half.
The lack of investment in the squad catches up on you.
I don't think so.
You've just said that's
an easy criticism to make when your 2 top strikers are injured. You know what I mean? You take the 2 top strikers out of anything. Take Aguero and Jesus out of Manchester United. Are you going to make the same argument? They haven't invested heavily enough in their centre forwards?
No, clearly not.
No. Well, that's my point. No, I don't think that argument stands up personally, but those 2 players clearly, and Son in particular, in Kane's absence, has been phenomenal for them in that kind of central striking role.
Just for the record, I disagree with you. I think it has caught up on them. They've had no investment.
So that caught up on them in the semi-final of the Champions League, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my point proven. They're competing at the highest level in club football.
Mm-hmm.
And for me,
against a team that get about 15 million annually from TV
forget
revenue.
about the money. This is talented. I think you're right. I mean, they're
should
missing,
have a third top level striker. A team with their ambitions. They're going to have to go.
No, they're not. They're never going to get it. Not when Harry Kane's guaranteed to play every single game when he's fit. You know, you're not going to entice a top level striker to play second fiddle to Harry Kane. Play, half a dozen games per season.
So they're just
not going to happen.
Bit unlucky that both of them are missing tonight. That's the way you're.
Yeah, they are a bit unfortunate. Yeah, the two top strikers this season are both out of the game.
Okay.
Son coming back for the second. 1-0 for me. This isn't a disaster. Certainly, Ajax will be favourites now off the back. It is, but for me, Spurs still very much in this tie.
And were you impressed? Were you impressed with Ajax tonight?
Yeah, but they just showed a bit of brittleness when that last 50 minutes of the first half and Spurs kind of pushed the second half. You just felt as if those kind of defensive frailties a little bit Daily Blind in particular. Maybe there was a way in there for Tottenham, but just haven't been able to create too many clear-cut opportunities, even with the amount of pressure, a bit more possession they've had, more sustained attacks on the Ajax goal stroke penalty area, but haven't really created too many clear-cut opportunities with it. Dele Alli started well second half. I thought he may have been the way in, just getting around the feet of Llorente, getting into the box. He's a good head of the ball. Ali arriving late in the box, but no, hasn't materialised, and it's looking as if it could be defeat. Normal circumstances, Joe, you'd say, well, that's pretty much it. But I still feel as if Spurs are in this tie. If the tactical setup's right, I didn't think the manager got it right at the start of the game. It didn't look right from the 3-5-2 system. Didn't really suit them in that first half hour of the game. And Ajax really got on top, got the all-important first goal, and they've kind of battled away and kind of found a way back into the game, Spurs, but hasn't been good enough.
Okay, well, you can hear more of Kenny's thoughts on Ajax tomorrow at 7:40. That's how you say it?
No, I'm great.
7:45 tomorrow. OTBAM, our breakfast show here. You're back in tomorrow morning. Bloody hell, Kenny.
I'll be Games of Thrones. His own in tomorrow, is he? I'll be getting into. Haven't seen him since him and headed off on that jolly up to the north.
Oh yeah, no, they're back in. They're back in.
Are they back in? Are they?
Owen had a good time in the States as well. Ask him about that. He'd really like you to do that. Yeah. So that's tomorrow. OTBAM 7:45 on all our social channels, and then we're back tomorrow here. Liverpool away to Barcelona. Wednesday night rugby. A few other bits and bobs besides. We'll talk to you then. Tom Dunn is on the way next.